lady to the Single and Stiletto Show. I'm Suzanne Oshima, and I'm a matchmaker and dating coach at Dream Bachelor and Bachelorette. I'm also the founder of Single and Stilettos. Today we have on our show Robert Manni, and he is the author of The Guy's Guide to Love. And I'm so excited to have him here today because today we're talking about how to be successful with online dating. But before we jump into it, Robert, I would love for you to tell our audience a little bit about you.
Sure. Thanks so much, Suzanne, for having me on the show. My background's marketing and advertising, and I'm the author of the novel, The Guy's Guide to Love, and also the host of the radio podcast, Guys Radio, which is on Blog Talk Radio every week and on iTunes, and I'm a syndicated blogger on my website, robertmanni.com.
Great. Well, so Robert, tell our ladies how they can be successful at online dating. And one of the things that, before you jump into your tips, is that I want ladies to understand is the first thing is that men are visual, right, Robert?
Yes.
Okay, so what are the 3 things a man looks for in a woman's profile?
Well, obviously, the guy's going to look at photos, and I know just from my own experience, initially when I dove into the chilly online dating waters, I based everything on photos, and then I spent a lot of time and money on Chardonnay, finding out that, oh, this person wasn't really right for me, and I could have figured that out before actually going through the process of meeting up. But I think, guys are visual, and some guys get past that, and some guys don't, so you're going to have your visual game up. What I would suggest for the ladies is that they have, like, 3 photos. They have a nice headshot that shows, like, really who they are with a smile, and you can really get a sense as to here she is. And they maybe a casual, like, let's call it, quote unquote, an action shot, doing something. Whether it be climbing or at the beach or something that shows, like, the type of person you are, what you do with your spare time. And maybe the third one is something in a more formal context or at a party with friends, something like that where you're having fun. But at least show a variety. If you want to show yourself in a bathing suit or something like that, you're going to up the odds, but you're also going to get a lot of guys who just, wink at you or say, oh, you're hot, and, take it, and then it goes down from there. So when you're showing, even if you have a great body, you got to be careful at how much you want to show in an online dating profile. A little mystery goes a long way. And if you can bring it, you don't have to worry about showing it all in your profile.
Exactly. And ladies, I will tell you, if you take that picture where you're in a hot bikini, even if you have a great body, you're sending the guy the wrong message because all he's thinking about is, oh my God, how am I going to get her into bed, right?
Exactly. Yes, that's true.
Okay, so beyond pictures, though, let's talk about the profile. Are there certain things that men look for in a woman's profile?
I'm not sure what every guy does, but I think a lot of them, the ones who are succeeding in online dating, want to get to know who the person actually is, because it's going to save them time and money, and that's important. And they want to be with the right person. So I think you have to be careful when you write your profile not to go negative. Anytime I read "I don't like" or anything that's no, that was to me big X. Because if you can't go, I was thinking, like, if you can't get through your profile without being negative or having an axe to grind about anything, then you've got issues, because that negativity is going to come up pretty quickly in terms of any type of conversations or interactions. So I'd be very careful not to say anything negative. I mean, this is an ad for you, and it's really for the other person. Your profile isn't about me. It's about you, and what you can bring to the table. And with that, I think the next point really is make sure that you clearly articulate who you are, what you're looking for, and what you have to offer in no uncertain terms without making it read like an ad. You want those messages to come through quickly and loud and clear to the person reading that copy, because their profile actually is an ad. And Suzanne, you and I both have advertising backgrounds, and we know the power of, a print ad. And that's really what the profile is. So your visual has to be there, and the visual should be in sync with the copy, which should really talk about who you are, what you want, and what you have to offer. And then the guy has a sense as to, okay, I know who she is, I know what she wants, and I know what she wants to bring to the table. She sounds like somebody I want to reach out to.
Exactly. And you bring up a really great point. I mean, Robert did bring up that we both used to work in advertising and marketing. And he brings up a great point about what your ad of yourself has to portray and the message you want to get across. And I want to bring up this point because I've seen profiles where women write a novel and it's just like too much and no one's going to read that. And you also just come across as you're too needy or you're just,
exactly.
you know, it's just like you don't need to put everything out there. Or it can be too short where you don't tell everything there is to know about you. I mean, there's some key things that men want to know, right? So there's that happy balance where you're in between, right?
Yeah, you can't, you know, everybody maybe, you know, puts their best foot forward. There's nothing wrong with that. And I could say maybe people massage the truth a little bit. That's okay. I think that's almost expected. I believe in honesty, but you know, everybody's going to like trying to put their best foot forward. They might tweak something a little bit. But listen, if you have kids, you're divorced and have kids, you better say so in that profile. You don't want the guy doesn't want a surprise about that. And this way, if you say so in your profile and the guy knows that and he contacts you, that means he's cool with that. And that's the type of guy you want to meet. So it's all going to come out in the laundry anyhow. So as much as the information that's important, criteria that gets out in your profile, the easier it will be for you both to qualify one another. And
exactly.
You have to have, sorry, one last thing. If you don't have a photo, don't bother, because no guy's going to contact you. And
well, that is true.
I had one person who was a CEO of a major corporation, and she didn't want to put her photo on the profile. And I met her, and she was attractive, and we had a nice time and all that. But that's the exception to the rule.
That is very true. And I just want to add some other very key points, because I hear men complain about this when it comes to online dating, is ladies, tell your real age. Don't lie, and if you're in your 40s, don't lie and say you're 39, because once he meets you, you're going to have to tell him the truth, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, I think you should tell the truth. However,
yeah.
You know, based on past experience, I think there's, you know, 2 years, one way or the other isn't going to matter anyhow. So if they're 41, they say 39, you meet them and they look, and she's good looking and well preserved, then like whatever, you're going to forget about that pretty quickly. So if you really are that insecure about it that you have to put 39 and that's going to make you feel better and think you're going to get that date, fine. The guy's not going to reject you for that. But if there's a 5-year span, then that's a problem.
Well, and that's what I find too, is that when women lie about their age, they don't lie by 2 years. They usually lie by 5 or 10 years, and it's kind of ridiculous. So
some guys lie by, you know, they have less hair and more weight than
exactly.
And more age, you know, more years on the tread on the tire. So
right. Well, and the second point I want to bring up, ladies, about your profile is we talked about the photos, is make sure they're current photos. There are too many times that men complain that that's not the same woman that showed up on the date. If it's 10 years ago, it's 10 years ago. You do not look the same. I don't care what anybody says. So that's really, really important.
Yeah, that goes both ways too, because as you say, you know, you're going to see the person in you know, face to face. So you can't hide. So you might as well put up a recent picture. And again, you know, put a couple of pictures up there so the guy has a better idea as to who you really are, how you move, how you look in different scenarios. You get a much more dimensionalized visual for who the person is than if you just show like just the headshot. And I know a lot of people, a lot of women are uncomfortable with a lot of photos. They just want the headshot. I get it, but you know, you have to be a good-looking woman to do that. And then it says like, oh, okay, check, you know, and a lot of guys will say that. But otherwise, I think it's important. Just show a couple of shots.
Exactly.
A couple of photos. It's a good thing.
Exactly. Okay, so what if a woman is not getting responses? How can she get men to contact her?
Well, I think she's got to go through the kind of checklist that we just made. Make sure she's got the right photos. Make sure that she's clearly articulated who she is, what she's looking for, and what she has to offer. And then I think that she also has to be positive, not have any negativity in her profile. And then I would, you know, also mention some interests that she has towards the end, because this gives the guy an opportunity to respond to something about what he's read in her profile. Like she took a trip to the Andes over the winter or something. Like he can say, "Oh, I've been there. Did you go to X, Y, or Z?" She has to like put the bait out there. It's fishing, and she's fishing where the fish are. So if she's not catching guys and she's a catch, then she's not fishing like a pro.
Exactly. So now, what's your best tip for women when they want to contact a guy? How can they contact a guy without seeming like they're too desperate?
Well, I think there is a double standard here, which is a good one, and sometimes good double standards aren't a bad thing. So I think if you're a woman, you don't respond to a guy who winks, because that's just a guy in his underpants being lazy and just sitting there power winking. Mm-hmm. It's easy to do that. He doesn't have to write an email or anything like that. However, I think it's okay for a woman to wink at a guy. But I think it's a lot better to send a very short note saying, "I read your profile," or "Hey, you seem interesting," and mention something about their profile and ask them a question. And then the guy, if he's not a complete dummy, he's going to realize that she's interested in having a conversation with me. And from there, then you see what happens. Now, if the guy doesn't respond, you're better off if he doesn't respond, because at least you know. You don't want to waste time when you're doing online dating. So if he's not, there's always going to be other people there. So it's up to you. You just have to not take it personally. So respond to the people that you're interested in. Keep it short. I wouldn't just send your phone number. I would mention something about their profile, say that they seemed interesting, and see if they respond. My name is blank, da da da. I read that you had skied in Austria last year. Where did you go?
Yeah, and make it short. You don't have to write a whole novel, because it's too much.
Because guys don't want that. They just want to know, okay, she's interested. Then they're going to check out your profile, and hopefully they'll actually read it. And the smart guys will read it more than once. But once they see the woman's interested, that's great news for a guy. Because still, regardless of how everything's on an equal playing field, the guys are doing a lot of the chasing, and particularly online. If there's a hot woman online, there's a lot of guys who are hitting up on her.
Exactly. Well, these have been some great tips. So, Robert, tell our audience how they can find you.
Well, very simple. The best place to find any of my content, whether it's the radio, the novel, or any of my blog posts, it's robertmanni.com. That's MANNI.com. And make sure, if you get a chance, to check out the novel, The Guy's Guide to Love.
Great.
Thanks, Dan.
Great. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on the Single and Stiletto Show. Our show is available both in video format and podcast format. If you like to view the videos, you can go to singleandstilettos.com. And if you like to get the podcast, you can download it from iTunes. If you'd like to get our free report on the top 10 secrets on what attracts a man and what turns them off, you can click right here on the video, or you can go to singleandstilettos.com.